Cruz has been unveiled as a by-election candidate for the Progressive Democratic Party. He's the first person to put himself forward for the July election. At a press conference this morning, the PDP said this was an important test for the party, but believed the political landscape has changed and it's time for a fresh perspective on politics with sensible and constructive debate. Jonathan Sacramento spoke to Nick Cruz.
Well, we've talked about the change of landscape, political landscape, and the opportunity, and this is it. We have a free vote, free because actually it won't change government. The government will continue to govern on the 5th of July, or opposition members, they will remain in power. So it is an opportunity for people to genuinely have a free vote and vote in a different way and introduce into Parliament someone who hopefully they believe can contribute something new. The PDP have fought 2 elections. We said that we thought we would progress when the landscape changed. It has. This is the opportunity for us, and it's time for us to put our party's policies, our views to the test. And we hope that people from any political party viewpoint will now look at this election, understand it's free, and say let's introduce a new element into Parliament.
You've been around for 7 years. You've stood for 2 elections. At both of those elections, you got some very poor results. If you get similar results at this election, is that curtains for the PDP?
We genuinely feel that people understand it's not going to change government, it's not going to change opposition. And people can understand that and say, do we want to have a new voice, new ideas, fresh thinking in Parliament? Do we like what the PDP have said over a period of 7 years? And we hear that they do. This is the opportunity to do so without worrying about whether their party is going to be voted in or out. So we think we will. In answer to your question, I made it clear, and I absolutely, won't shy away, that this is not a scenario whereby if we got another low percentage turnout, it would be something that I would be prepared to continue in politics. If we got 5% again, it is clearly either the message or the messenger, either one, it doesn't matter, that is wrong, and therefore it would be time for us to rethink our position. So a low result for us would inevitably make us reflect as to whether we have any future at all. I don't expect that. I really think that there's an opportunity for us to get into Parliament if people want us in Gibraltar politics, and that is hopefully will happen, or if not, we'll make enormous progress and we'll be very close to it, and we certainly hope the former is the case.
Let's say you are elected as a candidate and you become an MP. Would you side with or ally yourself with any of the 2 main parties, or would you be independent?
Well, independent I'd be a PDP candidate. I mean, I make that point. It's not just Nick Cruz. It's the PDP. I would happily work with government as much as I could, on as many projects as I could, and I would work with opposition to keep the government in check on as many matters that I could. So we would vote in favour of whatever policy we thought was good, and we would keep the government in check as and when we thought was necessary.
Over the last few weeks, we've seen 2 former PDP executive members joining the 2 main parties, one to the GSD, one to the GSLP. Does this damage the PDP in any way?
These gentlemen left the PDP after the last election. They were depressed that we hadn't had a good result, and they felt that they couldn't make progress. Others joined. On balance, we thought it's good that they've gone one to one party, one to the other. It just establishes the fact that we are a party that has different views. They haven't seemed to have rejected their views. They've done it on what is pragmatic grounds. In other words, I'm not making progress, I'm just going to be pragmatic about it. Do we hope that there will be enough people who think that the principles behind which we stand and the way we stand for them are important enough to progress? Yes, we do.
So, over the next few weeks, what's the game plan for the PDP?
Well, it's simple. I mean, this is an election about communicating the message that we have all to gain and nothing to lose. That is really what it's about. There is absolutely no risk to government or to opposition, but there is an opportunity. And so the message is going to be, take that opportunity, look at our policies, style of government, let's not have this continuous ding-dong between government unnecessarily, let's have constructive policies. Let's try and bring that element into our Parliament, because I think we'll all do a lot better as Gibraltar if we have a little bit less acrimony, a little bit more working together. So that's the message we're going to try and communicate. And I think hopefully will result in a stronger opposition and a more constructive opposition on the 5th of July.